What up everybody, and welcome back to H2O Co Film and Photo. I'm here today not doing an unboxing as much as an overview. There's some new news released by Canon this morning that I am of mixed emotions with. I don't know how I feel about it, but before we get into that, thank you for watching, and if you like this video and find it useful, hit like in the comments below, and go ahead and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. There's more unboxings and tech reviews, and apparently now overviews to come. So today we're going to be talking about the Canon T8i. Today I heard they just released this morning, they unveiled it pretty much, and the specs on this beast are amazing. I'm happy and I'm pissed about it. And I'll tell you why here in a second. But essentially, so from what they say on the website, it's even on their website now, you can look it up at canon.com. They have a price point on this new camera. I've seen it priced for pre-order on Amazon at $749 with a stock lens, and they're saying at Canon it's going to be $899 with the stock lens, or maybe that's the creator kit, I'm not quite sure. But it has stuff like 4K uncropped that not even the EOS Rebel or the EOS R has, and that's a $2,000 pro camera, mirrorless, yeah, you know, I think the only ones so far capable of doing uncropped 4K are full frames like the 1DX Mark II and III. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure on that. But this is going to have, other than the 1.6 crops factor, it's not going to have any additional crop to the 4K. It's going to be a 24.1 megapixel camera with dual focus or dual pixel autofocus enabled for the 4K. Which again has not been in any of the other previous cameras. I have an EOS M50 I'm filming on right now currently, and I have my T8i that I just bought in October, hence me being irritated with this whole situation. So yeah, the EOS M50 has dual focus, dual pixel autofocus in the camera. It works in 1080p, but to protect their higher end line of cameras, the president of Canon came out and flat out said that they disabled it on purpose in the EM50 so that they could protect their higher end line and that you'd have a reason to go to the higher end lines. This new T8i has dual focus, pixel autofocus enabled in 4K and 1080p, and from what I'm aware, it's the best autofocusing system on the planet. I'm using it right now. I'm filming in 1080p, and if you look, when I put something in front of me, look how quick it adjusts to that, and it focuses in on that, and then I put it back, and boom, it catches me right now. Another cool feature that the T8i is supposed to have is it's supposed to have not only face detection, but eye detection as well, almost like a mirrorless camera. It shoots in 7 frames a second, which I believe is the same that my T7i shoots at, is 7 frames a second. I could be wrong, it could be 6, but I'm pretty sure it's 7 that it shoots at before it starts buffering. And that the new T8i is going to be doing 7 and then 7.5 in live view mode. Other things to be really excited about is it has a mic jack, so you're going to be able to use a mic jack. It also has a second dial scroll wheel on the back, right where your menu buttons are, your quick start menu and everything, like the professional end cameras do, so you have instant access to exposure settings instead of having to use 2 buttons at once to get your exposure from your shutter speed like this camera does with your scroll wheel. So there's a lot of advantages to it. I bought the EOS M50 recently. I bought the T7i in October and bought the EOS M50 about a month ago, maybe less than that, maybe 3 weeks ago. I got it used secondhand for about $350, and I specifically purchased this camera because of the 4K. I purchased it knowing about the caveats that it was an additional 1.6 crop on a crop sensor camera, and so I knew I was going to have to get really far away from my subjects to get good 4K. I was fine with that, and I hadn't really ever messed with the contrast autofocus as opposed to the dual pixel autofocus. I've been spoiled. All I've ever seen is the dual pixel autofocus. But I found out quickly that the contrast autofocus in the M50 is trash. It doesn't work at all, and you have to be in manual focus mode when you're in 4K. But the biggest problem I had with it, which nobody told me about, and I couldn't find, still can't find it anywhere online, is that with the EOS M50, you have an insane problem with shutter roll. And I'm actually going to be releasing a review on the M50 here later this week or maybe next week, so I'll talk about that more in that. But this new T8i does not have any of these issues. It has the dual pixel autofocus, it has more of a professional scroll wheel, 2 of them, so you can access your settings quicker. It has 4K uncropped, which again, the EOS R, which is a $2,000 professional camera, does not have. So I'm really considering taking both my EOS M50 and my T7i and trying to trade them both in to get the T8i when it comes out, because essentially it's both of my cameras I currently have rolled into one. I like having a backup camera, but I would rather prefer having dual pixel autofocus with my 4K. Especially considering I'm filming a movie right now. So that would be very helpful. And yeah, it has a mic jack. And pretty much every other spec on the camera that I've seen is identical to the T7i. It has a Digic 8 processor. The Canon T7i has a Digic 7 processor. My EOS M50 is the first camera they introduced with the Digic 8 processor, and from what I could tell, it does help with buffering a little bit, and also the file transfer from my Canon EOS M50 is 3 times faster to send files to my phone, even videos, than my T7i. If I film a video on my T7i and I try to send it over to my phone, it takes roughly a half an hour to download the video. On my EOS M50 with the new Digic 8 processor they're putting in the T8i, it's gonna be, I'm assuming, the same quality, which is like within a minute or 2 the video is downloaded, maybe 5 tops, like a 10-minute video. So that's what I've noticed with the Digic 8 processor they're putting in this new one. It's also, I believe, in the EOS R. It's the same processor. So for me, this camera doesn't feel like an entry-level camera, especially at the price point between $749 and $899. To me, this feels like almost an upgrade from an entry-level camera to a mid-tier camera at the price point of an entry-level camera. So if I had known this was going to go down in October, I probably would have waited the 4 months to go and get my camera. Because yeah, it has every feature that you could ask for. I do not know if it's weather sealed, but that is something that I want to look into. I called Canon this morning, and I guess they don't know any more than we do. That's what they told me as consumers, that they don't know any more than us consumers. So because it hasn't been released yet, when it is, I think at the end of February of 2020 this month, I think they're going to release all of the information with it along with it, and I'm going to assume that it's not going to be weather sealed, just to give their higher end cameras that advantage still, so that there's a reason for you to go out and spend an extra $1,000 on a camera. The T8i it's amazing. I'm gonna get it. The other thing is that when I talked to Canon about it, they said that they might be releasing a firmware update for the EOS M50, and I personally am really hoping that they do, because a firmware update that would enable the native dual pixel autofocus that's already in the camera would be very helpful for us shooting in 4K. And it's in there. They can do it. They purposely disabled it because of that. They said they wanted to protect their higher end line. But if they're going to release the T8i, which has all these features, and call it an entry-level camera and price it at the price point of an entry-level camera, you would assume that they would go back and release a firmware update to the other cameras they've already released that don't have that feature, if they're in that same category. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping high. But anyways, that's the overview today. I thank you guys for watching me, and like I said, I'm going to be releasing here in probably a week or 2 a review on the EOS M50 itself and all of the problems that I've found with it. It's still a great camera. I love it, but I'm not gonna like it as much as this new one. So anyways, I'm gonna take off. You guys have a great day and stay creative, my friends. Thanks again for watching.